Lisa. I have a grid page layout today with 6 photos. These were from a trip my husband recently made out to visit his daughters, and he's taking his grandchildren for a trip to the playground. When I laid out the photos, I realized they were kind of in pairs, and that's why I arranged the grid with all of the photos just on one side, but in sort of in pairs, because we have them heading out in the wagon, and then at the playground, it was the little girl's first trip down the slide, and then afterwards with his daughter and with him. So I'm going to put the photos in this order, and they're 3x3s, and then I'll have a place for title, journaling, and a little bit of embellishment. And I plan to do these in the regular 3x3s, but I was also thinking I could stretch this out and maybe combine a couple of these sections together. I haven't decided for sure yet. I do know that I want to do something interesting with the title, and the reason the words are around this way is I thought we would take some different thickers this summer, and using up some of my stuff, I want to get rid of some of these partial packs of thickers. I mean, some of these things just hardly have anything left in them. So I want to go through and use what I can this summer, and then donate or toss what's left of some of these thickers. So I'm going to create the word playground, and I'll probably use lots of different ones and maybe put it in some sort of interesting arrangement. First off, though, I need to pick the papers for this, so I can be arranging kind of on the papers that I want to work with, I think. I'm looking at the smoky slate paper for the background because I have gray in this stripe. This is from Basic Gray's Mon Ami collection. The colors are perfect with these photos, and I can kind of cut this up in strips because behind the photos, I have some arrows. I have one arrow pointing up and one arrow going down, and the arrows have to do with the story that this particular page tells. So I'm going to use this stripe. I also have, or I might use it for one of the arrows, because I also have this paper from Carta Bella. This is it's a celebration collection, and the colors are identical between the two collections. So I'm going to use those strips, I think, with these, and then the rest of my Mon Ami papers are 6x6s, and I went ahead and picked out a couple that I especially like to cut in 3x3 squares, and I need one more, probably the one for the journaling. I'll do, like I've got some solids in here. There was a pink, but I don't think I want pink, and I want navy. I'm thinking there was a light blue one. Yeah, there it is. That would be good for the journaling and to go with the color scheme. So then there's a little wagon on here, and I'll probably cut that with the silhouette because I thought that would be really cute here. So, but I need to figure out which one of these is going to have the title. I'll probably put the wagon on the one with the little houses because it'll be a little bit plainer background. So, I don't know. We're going to start with the letters. We're going to lay the letters out on one of the two of these. So let's go ahead and find letters for the word playground. Okay, I'm just laying out some wax paper and going through these sets, and some of them it's going to be a challenge to find anything that fits with the word playground. But there are some where I may have more than one letter. Actually, I ended up with 2 L's. And then there are others I may actually have to go into my stash to find some things. I did have a set here that actually had 2 A's left in it. That's really unusual because I usually go through A's. There's a pretty Y in this set of yellow letters. I think being a children's page, I can do lots of different kinds of letters and colors, and especially some of these fun ones like these Amy Tangerine letters. With the stitching, with faux stitching on them. I already had a Y. I decided I liked just as well, but there was a G there. And I think there's a D in this set too. Okay, I have the letters, but they're not quite fitting the way I want them to, so I'm going to come back to that. I don't know exactly how much room I have for them to lay over the square, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the strips and get the photos glued down. And I decided about a 2-inch wide strip is what I wanted of each of the stripe and then the chevron, and I cut them. The chevron works out really well because I fixed it so that the point kind of came down in the middle there at the bottom. Just marking, and then I'm going to trim this off. The stripe, though, is going to give me some trouble. I'm going to use the chevron as a guide for the stripe. Now, when I was making window treatments, stripes always used to be my favorite fabrics. I loved it when customers picked out stripes because you can do so much with them. But boy, do they show if you don't do things quite right. And this is a good example. I didn't have anything in the center, like that green one was striped, that wide stripe there wasn't in the center, and boy does it look funny when it's trimmed into a point. So apparently I've been out of the sewing business here a little too long, so I had to go back and mark off 2 inches of paper with something significant in the middle. This is what we would call an unbalanced stripe in the fabric world, meaning a balanced stripe is one where the red would be in the middle, then there'd be a pink on each side of that and a blue on each side of that, so that you could have something centered with everything on each side matching up. But this one is not a balanced stripe, so all I can do is just put something wide in the middle and hope it looks good. And it does, and it's just a scrapbook page. It's not a window treatment that we're going to be looking at every day for years. So I just had to make it look a little better than that first go round. Now I know I'm going to put playground on the green paper. So again, I'm playing a little bit with the placement here to work in all these different thickers and make a fun arrangement. Getting a little closer. I really wanted some blue, but these blue stickers didn't have any letters that I needed either. So I'm going to end up doing some painting to get this problem resolved. I do think I'll put some background paper behind some of the squares. I've got some red there, there's some navy in here. I like those clouds, you just wouldn't see very much of them. Several reds in this collection. That was one of the things that attracted me to it, was all these small red prints. Okay, I'm going to use the red print, but I've got a little too much white, so I thought I would just go ahead and paint one of the letters. And usually I put gesso over things, but I think this will be fine just to go ahead and paint straight over the chipboard. And this is kind of thin chipboard, so I don't really want to try to pull the top off of it, so I'm painting on the cardboard. I'm just going to paint directly over the white part. So I mixed some blue and black to get the right, or close to good shade for my project. Now I have a blue letter, and I'm moving some things around because I decided if I matted that one up at the top, then it might be nice to mat a couple of the photos as well to really accent certain ones. I want to accent the one where the little girl's going down the slide, and I want to accent the one of my husband carrying her. He did that as a selfie, and he was really proud of it, and I wouldn't have known it was a selfie. I would have thought his daughter took that picture of him because it's a really good selfie. He ended up having to carry his granddaughter back from the playground, as you might imagine. She got worn out. And Grandpa's not used to carrying. It's been a while since he carried little children. Alright, now we've got room here to get the letters on there with that mat. I think I did a 1/4 inch mat all the way around, so it's 3.5 inches. And then I'll do the same thing for the others mats that I create, and I'm just going to glue that on with Tombow adhesive. Now the die cut here this was from the Silhouette store, and it's just a little wagon, and I'm cutting all the pieces out of cardstock because I've got so much pattern paper here already, so I need something a little simpler. There's some little shadows and everything, and it's a real cute image. And there's a little tiny hole where the handle attaches to the wagon, and I punched this out, although I end up later on covering that up. And I know I want something in my wagon. At this point I'm not quite sure what. I did some stitching around the edge before I glued everything down, and you'll see more of this at the end. It's just some zigzag stitching. Now down here in the wagon, what I decided on were hearts. I do one heart for each child, One heart a little bigger than the other because we have a 2.5-year-old and one that's not quite a year at this time of these photos. And I've got several possible stickers. I decided to go with the sugar and spice. I liked the color, and I thought that was appropriate. So I'm going to color one heart blue for my little boy and one heart pink for the little girl. And those are just Studio Calico wood veneer hearts. And the markers are Stampin' Up, Not Quite Navy, and I think that pink is Regal Rose. And then I can glue those in place. And I'm going to put a little drop of liquid pearls where that handle comes into the wagon. Okay, we're all wrapped up, and we have our sketch with our 6 photos over to one side, so they're kind of in their pairs. And then the title, journaling, and a little bit of embellishment over here. One of the things I went ahead and added, since I had my hearts and, you know, kind of a lot going on here, and also up here with the title, is I created a third leg to this triangle and just did a little bit of embellishment right here with a couple of stickers. These are some of those authentic words, and I put those over an October afternoon sticker and another heart. So we can get some close-ups of the page with the stitching around the edge. And then I got to use a few of those extra thickers, get a little bit more use out of those. And a die cut. So that's my page. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you'll check out my blog and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. So have a great day. Thanks.